Welcome back. Re-entering into a busy world has become a new type of stress that many of us have experienced during this pandemic. And as we head into a new season, there may be a lot of triggers as we adapt to this new normal.
And according to the Center for Addiction and Mental Health, over a year into the pandemic, about 1 in 5 Canadians have reported high levels of mental distress. Here with important tips on how to cope with anxious feelings around reentry is clinical psychologist Adisa Azubuike.
Hello, thank you. Welcome.
Welcome back to the show, Adisa. We're so happy to have you here, especially right now, because I think for many people, September is always a kind of reset season, but now more than ever, because many people are facing the prospect of re-entering into spaces they've avoided or haven't been able to go into for a long period of time, like work or school. So should we all expect to feel a little bit of anxiety during this time?
Well, Cynthia, I'm going to say that it is normal for many people to feel some sort of anxiety. There are still a lot of unknowns out there, and we have seen our lives change quickly and significantly, like never in our lifetime. And many of us are worried, can we get back the life we had? And some of us are asking, do we want the life we had? So yes, when there's a lot of uncertainty and there's a lot of novelty, there will be a lot more anxiety. So please don't beat yourself up if you feel it, because it's to be expected.
What does this type of anxiety look and feel like? And is there a right or wrong way to cope with these feelings?
This type of anxiety may feel like a sense of dread or anticipation or worry about, again, the unknown. And we are restarting a different life. We are in a new normal. First, it's always best to acknowledge the existence of these feelings and then accept them. Remember, acceptance does not mean agreement or liking or loving the feelings. All it means is that you're recognizing that you're feeling and that you have a willingness to allow them to be and to take steps to work with these feelings.
A huge thing that I think I'm not alone in confronting recently has been different people's levels of comfort who are in kind of my bubble. So, like, let's use an example. Let's say I'm living with somebody who is very, very comfortable and wants to re-engage with society, go to restaurants, go to gyms, going back to work, and I'm way less comfortable with that. So, how do we cope with the anxiety?
I would suggest that you let your partner know about your discomfort and have a conversation or conversations on the topic. Often being heard and hearing the reasons for the behavior of significant others can be helpful in our reactions and projections. It can lead to a greater understanding, an agreement to agree to disagree, and it can also lead to some compromise.
I have to admit that I'm not eager to get together with a large group of people. I think we've been
Okay?
conditioned for so long
Yeah,
to
you're
think
not
that
alone.
that is something we should not do. I'm not going to be the first in line to go to a concert. We'll leave it at that. But how do we deal with that fear? How do we come to terms with that fear?
Well, it's something that I think many of us are not told and don't know, that our mind has a negativity bias. As psychologist Rick Hansen has written, the brain is like Velcro for negative experiences and like Teflon for positive ones. And your brain has evolved to learn quickly from bad experiences and slowly from good ones. So we must work harder to overcome our fears and fearful experiences. We first, and if you guys all repeat after me, we have to acknowledge and accept these feelings and realize that we have to make incremental changes to our environment and behavior to become comfortable again.
I'd love to get back to something you hinted at earlier, the idea that
Sure.
for some of us, there have been some silver linings to sort of reveal themselves during this pandemic. And for me, I'm actually mourning the loss of the potential loss of that work-life balance that
hmm
has been a joy for me, to be honest with you. So how
Yes.
do we hold on to some of these silver linings that have come out of this unusual time?
Well, Jess, my first response to you is that hold on tightly and don't let go of those silver linings. Psychologist B.J. Fogg of Stanford University has taught us that there are only three things that really lead to long term behavioral change: epiphanies or aha moments, a change in the environment like COVID-19 and its consequential lockdowns, and taking small steps. So we all have gone through a once in a lifetime pandemic, and this has led to significant changes in our personal, social, and professional environments. So if you have had some epiphanies, Jess, that have led to implementation of new practices in your life, then I would say value them, try your darndest to hold on to them and to continue with them, and also do them incrementally.
The biggest issue that I'm having right now is I'm already anticipating, because I've seen them around, that people who are
Yes.
kind of like sloppy about the sort of COVID rules that have been laid out. An example might be somebody who wears their mask like way down here, maybe a super
Hmm.
close talker. And as somebody who has been sort of raised to be polite and really nice, it's hard to navigate. So, what kind of tips do you have dealing with that kind of anxiety?
And again, I am not suggesting confrontation, but the most important part is that if you cannot step away or take yourself away from the rule breaker, I would suggest that you gently express your concerns and reservations to the ineffective task mask wearer or the too close to comfort talker. Because it's very important, Cynthia, that you have a sense of safety and you feel an experience that you took some action that helped you out of your discomfort and anxiety. If you can't take any action, if you can't do anything, you may feel more intensely anxious and feel more disempowered. So it's important that if you encounter these people, that you move away, and if you can't, you make some quiet noise. That's my great suggestion.
Quiet noise. I love it. Um,
Yes.
Quiet
what?
noise. Let's say we're in a situation where we find ourselves getting overwhelmed with anxiety. Kids are not there,
Yes.
but maybe we're in like we've just gone onto this into the subway for the first time, and we're
Yes.
surrounded by more people than we feel comfortable with. So in those moments, what's the best thing to do if we're getting real anxious?
First, always know that most people won't know that you're overwhelmed unless you tell them. So the people around you
Mhm.
will have no idea that you're overwhelmed. The best thing to acknowledge is that I'm feeling overwhelmed, and then what's the first thing I can do? And that first thing is paying attention to your breath. And most likely you'll realize that you're breathing fast and shallow, or that you're holding your breath. Most people are holding their breath when they're anxious. So start to breathe slowly and deeply in for 1 or 2 seconds. Hold your breath for 1 or 2 seconds, and then breathe out for 3 or 4 seconds or longer. Always remember that you should try to exhale longer than you inhale, because the exhale really engages the rest and digest and calming part of the nervous system. And also know that even though it feels like a long time, it's been only several minutes and it's going to end soon.
Adisa, incredible and important tips as usual. Thank you so much for being with us today.
You're always welcome, ladies. Take care.
We'll be right back.